evening, fellow night watchers. Well, maybe not night watchers, but that's all I could come with my head and actually get this intro completed. I had some tries before, and they weren't really working. Yes, I have no makeup on. I stayed home today and just didn't feel like putting makeup on, so yeah.
Yes, that is what's happening. That's what my face is like this.
Oh, it looks like I just have like black holes in the middle of my face. Yes, let's get on to the book review of Tik-Tok of Oz by L. Frank Baum, illustrated by John R. Neal. So, as I said before, from the description back here, I was thinking this is probably going to be a better book than the previous book, The Patchwork Girl of Oz. And indeed, this was a better book. But there's one thing that annoyed me about this. So, as you know, the Shaggy Man and Polychrome are featured in this book. So, when they meet, it's like they're meeting for the first time. But if you remember correctly, in the book, The Road to Oz, this was the book about Ozma's birthday, Shaggy Man was first introduced in that book, and so was Polychrome. So, it's annoying that Frank forgot that Shaggy Man and Polychrome had already met. So that's like the only part that really annoyed me for when Shaggy and Polly met in this book. They regarded them as the first time they met, which is a little annoying, but other than that, it was a really great book. I could not put it down. I was watching this during the intro and outro credit stuff on the TV shows. Like, I just finished Fame, and I can't believe it, but they did, in the finale, so they brought back, Bruno, Doris, they brought back people that they had in the first original season. Except for Julie for some reason, the cello player. I don't know why she didn't come back in the final series, in the final episode, but so I was reading this in between those, and I've been reading this in between the stuff. Well, actually, I've been reading this while watching episodes of the original CSI, and I'm on CSI. Excuse me. I can't believe I just said CSI numerous times. I am on season 9, where they introduce the first time they introduce a new chief of the night shift. So I was reading this throughout it because I've seen it so many times. And oh my gosh, I just couldn't put it down because everything was so good, and reading the new characters that Quox, one of the new characters we meet in this, where he lives, and he's not a ruler in the land that he lives in, but we meet the ruler there and the other inhabitants of that kingdom place. I don't know how much I like Betsy. Like, this is Betsy right here. I think Dorothy will always be my favorite little girl of the series. And then I'd say next would be Ozma. And then, well, I'm guessing Betsy will be in other adventures, so she would probably be my third favorite kind of thing. And we get to see, I really could not put this down. That's how good this book was. I read all 25 chapters in I don't know, maybe 4 or 3 days, depending on the last time the book review previous I put up of The Patchwork Girl of Oz. So that's how fast I read it. I kind of wish Frank had a better name for Shaggy Man's brother. I don't mind calling Shaggy Man or Shags. I also kind of wish he had an actual name, but the Shaggy Man or Shags is a good enough name to call him. But at first they were calling him the Ugly One, and basically call him an ugly, which I guess it was okay for that current part of the story, but when they rescue him and stuff, they just call him brother, and that's what kind of a name is to call him that? Yes, I know he's Shaggy Man's brother, but doesn't he have an actual name? Or couldn't he have an actual name? It's just a little annoying, but this whole adventure just, like, as I said, it totally pulled me in, and it reminded me of, like, all the first six adventures. Like, okay. That's really all I can say without totally just describing the whole plot and just ruining you guys reading this book. So, you must read this book, and you probably, depending on if you like the Oz series, if you've been reading the previous 7, or if you like fantasy, and like, yes, just gotta read it. Just do. It's good. It's so good. And you find out this amazing thing at the end of the book about someone from like the original adventurers. You get to find out something about the fairyland of Oz and what it does to some people or some animals. And that's also at the end of the book. Or basically just the last chapter. I seriously have nothing else really to say without totally ruining it. So this is another good recommendation to read. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So that's this book, and I will get to mark it off my checklist. And now I'm on to, what would that be? I must look at this. So this was book 8, because for some reason I had to look on my list, just because I couldn't remember. And this is book 9, The Scarecrow of Oz by L. Frank Baum, illustrated by John R. Neal. I'm going to keep saying that for people, just because this is how I do the stuff. So let's read the back here. Now children of all ages can return to the land that lies somewhere over the rainbow without the help of a marauding tornado or a pair of magical ruby slippers. All you need is The Scarecrow of Oz, L. Frank Baum's 9th sequel to his timeless tale of enchantment, The Wizard of Oz. Okay, so if any of you have the anniversary edition of The Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland, then hopefully you have watched the special features, and one of them includes a movie done, I believe, roughly in the 90s, and this is about Baum's life. And at the beginning of the movie, it shows the premiere of the movie, like its first time in theaters when people come to see the premiere. Frank is dead, and his wife actually goes to the movie and then tells before the movie starts, she tells this reporter about the life of Frank and how the Wizard of Oz, or The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, as it is originally titled. I'm guessing this little first paragraph here is like, because this is a different edition, so it's not the original edition. Because like they talk about the magical ruby slippers, when originally, if you have read the first book of the Oz series, you will know that the magical slippers are silver and not ruby red. So, I can't remember why I was telling you that little thing, but let's just continue on, because I have no idea what I was talking about now. You may not find lions, tigers, and bears, but you will discover two new friends. The supernaturally gifted little girl Trot and her old sailor friend Cap'n Bill. Okay, so I don't know about Trot, but Cap'n Bill, it was mentioned in the letter in Tik-Tok of Oz, if you remember. Just watch the previous video titled The Patchwork Girl of Oz. They team up with the Scarecrow, who has been sent to Jinxland by Glenda. Okay, they totally misprinted Glinda's name because they have typed here Glenda, when actually it's spelled Glinda. Stupid reprints. Glinda the Good to rescue Princess Gloria. We'll find out who Princess Gloria is. Well, I will. Hopefully you will read it and find out for yourself. To win the day, they must defy the Wicked Witch, another Wicked Witch, oh boy, and the evil King Cruel. Things heat up as the valiant Scarecrow is trapped by the Wicked Witch, who tries to burn him at the stake. Oh no! It is a harrowing time indeed, but in Magical Oz, miraculous things can happen to save the day. Okay. Alright, let's see what beautiful drawings there are. Not done there, so let's go to the beginning of our book. So here is this, which is the this book belongs to page, and here's Scarecrow, who's actually holding a book that's backwards. And then here is the Woozy, if you remember from the Patchwork Girl of Oz. And then here is the Sawhorse. I don't know what they're doing, but they are probably riding, or it's just an original drawing, drawn for just the beginning pages. Here is a full page of, I will say in order of of this train that's here, from the front of the train to the back of the train. Jack Pumpkinhead, someone who has black hair, I don't know who it is, the Wizard, Betsy, no, that's not Betsy, I bet that's Trot, Betsy, Tik-Tok, Dorothy, Ozma, Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodman. And then there's a fence behind them, and then behind that, hanging off the fence, is the Woozy. There's another picture of the Wizard of Oz. Here's another page here with Scarecrow in the tree, and I will read this dedication page. Dedicated to the quote-unquote the uplifters of Los Angeles, California, in grateful appreciation of the pleasure I have derived from association with them, in the recognition of their sincere endeavor to uplift humanity through kindness, consideration, and good fellowship. They are big men, all of them, and all with the generous hearts of the little children. L. Frank Baum. What, there's no women in this group? And down here is the Tin Woodsman. Sorry, I just noticed that when reading the little dedication page. Copyright 1915 by L. Frank Baum. All rights reserved. And it's in the middle of a bunny banging a big drum. Now, I'm going to read this page, and it has the Scarecrow under an umbrella attached to a tree. And this tree actually has a face on it. And a hand. Okay. Twixt you and me. Okay? The army of children which besieged the post office conquered the postman and delivered to me this imperious command. Its imperious commands insisted that Trot and Cap'n Bill be admitted to the land of Oz, where Trot could enjoy the society of Dorothy, Betsy Bobbin, and Ozma. Okay, so yeah. Okay. While the one-legged sailor man might become a comrade of the Tin Woodman, the Shaggy Man, Tik-Tok, and all the other quaint people who inhabit this wonderful fairyland. It was no easy task to obey this order and land Trot and Cap'n Bill safely in Oz, as you will discover by reading this book. Indeed, it required the best efforts of our dear old friend Scarecrow to save them from a dreadful fate on the journey. But the story leaves them happily located in Ozma's splendid palace, and Dorothy has promised me that Button-Bright and the three girls are sure to encounter, in the near future, some marvelous adventures in the land of Oz, which I hope to be permitted to relate to you in the next Oz book. Okay. I am not sure how Trot and Cap'n Bill are supposed to get to the land of Oz when Ozma... I don't know how this was supposed to be. And this was like back in 1915, and okay, I know this is probably all made up, but the way he writes his like letters in his books, it's a little weird. Like he actually can do this. It's just a little weird. But granted, this is a weird fairyland, so. Meantime, I am deeply grateful to my little readers for their continued enthusiasm over the Oz stories. As evidence, Evinced. I think it's supposed to mean evidence in the many letters they send me, all of which are lovingly cherished. It takes more and more Oz books every year to satisfy the demands of old and new readers. And there have been formed many Oz reading societies, where the Oz books owned by different members are read aloud. All this is very gratifying to me and encourages me to write more Oz stories. When the children have had enough of them, I hope they will let me know, and then I'll try to write something different. L. Frank Baum, Royal Historian of Oz. Oscott at Hollywood, California, 1915. Here is the table of contents. Oh, hold on. List of chapters page. And the Scarecrow is typing upon a typewriter. Oh, this is pretty. Here is a mer person. I can't tell if it's a woman or a man. But it's like seriously gorgeous. My webcam camera does not do it justice, especially at the resolution or the exposure my camera is currently at for you to be able to view me. And here is a little portrait of Cap'n Bill, as it says there. So I am going to get started on this, and I'm going to answer the Skype thing that I have up on here. And I hope you all have a very good night, and I hope you read the Tik-Tok of Oz books. I hope you attempt to read all of the Oz books. Let me know in the comments if you have read the books, and if you liked any, and if any of them are your favorites, and just let me know what is your favorite Oz book. And you can reply to any of the videos that have like that are titled by Frank Baum. Like any of those, you can let me know down in the comments below. I am hiccuping and I feel like I'm talking nonsense. I usually end up talking nonsense, but I don't want to talk nonsense anymore, especially at night. So I'm going to say good night to y'all. And keep reading. Good night. Evening.
Oh my god, that was bad. I didn't even know.
Evening, fellow.
Holy crap. What am I gonna say? Like, I was watching this,
and and yeah.
were the Oz books owned by many